What's up? What's up? Hope you guys are doing well. I am going to be joined by a friend of mine. Anthony, are you there?
Yeah, I'm
Michael.
here. Yeah,
I just saw
Michael.
you. Was a shorter email address already taken?
It was, yeah.
That's what I thought. So this is good, man. I appreciate you jumping on here. You are live within my multiple Facebook profiles and my YouTube channel. How does it feel to be on here with me?
Feels pretty exciting. I don't think I ever thought I'd be here, but I want to thank my wife for all the support and of course my parents for
Yeah.
for getting me here.
Yeah. I mean, you probably should have had a speech prepared.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So are you able to see any comments? I can see Taylor. What's up, man? Can you see the comments well or no?
Let's see. Yeah, I can when I go into comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Wonder what will happen. Well, so are you able to comment or just see?
Let's see if I can go into private chat and I can say hello.
Okay.
But I think that's you, yeah. In the comments, I don't show that option.
Gotcha. So, yeah, thanks for jumping on. How are things going in the Big D?
Yeah, it's good, man. Busy. Warming up. It's good weather.
After the freeze, everything's weather.
Tommy, you're my hero.
So,
all these people were just on Facebook and they wouldn't go online with you.
I mean, yeah, Les was there. He said yes, but then he didn't ever respond back, and you seemed ready and willing. So
yeah, I was ready. Yeah, I had to finish Bob's Burgers, but here I am now.
well, what were you watching?
Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers. Okay, I've heard of it, never seen it. That's your family show.
It's a good show. Yeah. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it.
What other shows do you like to binge watch?
I don't really binge watch many shows. We watched WandaVision, which is pretty good. We didn't binge it though. We watched it like every Friday as it came out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now we're watching the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is pretty awesome.
Okay, have not heard of that. Where do we find that? Netflix? Hulu?
No, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Okay. So,
yeah.
do you guys? Is that what you guys like to do? Like your wife and you, or with the family, or what?
It's just a family thing.
Because I started watching WandaVision, and then I don't know what happened. I think I got left out. Like my wife and my daughter were watching it, and I was like, I could watch this, and then all of a sudden they watched it without me.
Anything that's like any good, everybody decides they want to watch, and so then you have to wait for everybody, and so that's why I don't really watch anything by myself because everything that's like any good, the whole family wants to watch, so we all have to like be home, and so. I mean, I guess it's pretty good though, because then I watch a lot of TV. I do other things until the whole family's around, and then we watch our show.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to schedule those shows, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, thankfully now you don't have to watch them like when they're happening. You can just watch them anytime.
Well, I mean, I schedule the time to watch the shows, like because I'll have shows that my wife won't watch. What's the new one? I'm kind of excited. It's like season 2 or 3 of the Formula One. Have you heard of that on Netflix?
No.
It's just called F1 or something. I'm not even that it's not like I'm watching races, and recording them every Sunday or anything. But it's really cool because it's like behind the scenes, and it's like with the pit crew and like the boss and the driver and how they compete against the other teams, and it's cool. I like it. So,
Did you see that movie Ford versus Ferrari?
Oh yeah, that was sweet.
I didn't see it. I heard it was like it didn't interest me on the preview, but then a lot of people said no, it's actually a really good movie.
Yeah, seriously, go. Do you have a media room?
I will soon. Well, no, I'll have an office soon.
Wait for
Not me.
Wait for it. Go to someone's house that has a media room where you can crank up the volume, and it's a really fun one to watch.
Yeah, you can hear the cars going around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
Yeah. So how's Utah treating you, man?
Utah's good, man. It's different than Texas, that's for sure.
Yeah. Seems like you're making a real go of it.
Trying to, man. I feel like everything I'm doing right now, I'm like super busy. Like, so I feel good because I don't like sitting around. but I just need to start working on stuff that is more productive and not busy, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
I feel like we all get tempted to do busy work, like even when you're selling landscape lighting, I remember like, well, I could do this. I mean, I got to do that proposal, but it like, whatever it is, it's busy work, but is it productive? What's really helping you move forward? You could clean your office, but like, is that really going to help you grow your business? Maybe, maybe not, but that's kind of what I'm doing is right now. I feel like a lot of stuff I'm doing is like, it's making me busy, but I'm like, I want to be more productive.
Yeah. I've always been a real big component of like, if you can do everything that somebody can do in 40 hours, if you can do it in 20 hours, that's better. You should, do things efficiently and get everything done and be able to do it in less time. And then that way you have more time to yourself. That's not a big, our culture doesn't really like that though. Everybody likes to cram in as much like work as you possibly can do. I don't know. And I've never been that way. I'm always like, let me find the quickest, most efficient way to do a thing. And then I'll do it that way so that I have more time to like play my guitar.
So yeah, it's all about guitar time, right?
Exactly. That's the only reason I do anything. So I have time to play my guitar.
Well, what do you do to stay organized or to compartmentalize to make sure you don't get distracted? Because that's what happens to me is like I'll start something and I'm like, okay, I got to get this done today. And normally I'm pretty good, but I do find myself every once in a while like squirrel. And then I'm like distracted for the day. So what do you do? Do you have any secrets?
Yeah. I'll give you a secret. Yeah. I've never been very type A. Like all growing up, I was very unorganized. I was very like just kind of do whatever, whenever. And it wasn't until I like had to go like be in the workforce and do sales that I started like really, really organizing my time. And so now I just use a Google Sheets, and every day, every week, I write out, this is what I'm going to accomplish today. And I'll even like, I do this with my guitar practice, even like it translates to like every facet of my life where it's like, I know that I need to do these things and I'll slot like, from 9 a.m. to 9:15, I'm going to practice this thing. And then I'm going to do some work, whatever I have on my agenda. And then from 10 to 10:15, I'm going to do this thing. But like, it never becomes overwhelming because I have a system for every little thing that I do. Not every little thing I do, but like work stuff and like guitar stuff, anything I want to be like professional at or whatever. I really, really just organize it and I prioritize it. Like I'll give them categories like, A stuff, B stuff, C stuff, D stuff. I can wait till tomorrow if I run out of time, but I really feel like organizing it like, and having it written out is like the best thing ever, because then I never worry about it after I'm away from it. Cause it's written down. It's on that sheet. I don't have to remember it. I don't have to think about it until it comes up on my sheet. And then I'll attack it when I get there. So that's my secret, is just like be hyper organized with that kind of stuff. And then that way, because for me, I'm super in my head. I'm super disorganized. I'm the same way. Like I get distracted very easily, but if I have a system in place, then I won't get distracted.
So while you were talking, I forgot. I think I told you this. I mean, you gave me permission, but I don't know how much I told you. Tomorrow, I'm going live with my second episode of a show that it's called Light It Up, but I have to change the name. So I don't like, do I keep saying the name? But I'm going to be playing your music, the Motel Pines on there. So I'm hoping, you know what, here, let's do this. We're going to go
once
to
it becomes big, I'll have my attorneys contact you for back royalties, but
yeah, I would. I'd be like, who's this guy? This will probably be the thing that gets you guys to the next level.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
sure. I wouldn't be surprised if there's millions of people listening to me already.
Yeah, we're going to be the biggest band in the landscape lighting industry for sure.
Now, so tell me about the band. Like, is there who else is our band members, and do they have anything to do with lighting, or they don't know what landscape?
No. Actually, our drummer works for an architect, and so he does a lot of but he doesn't do landscape lighting. He actually does film for a big architect in Dallas. He does like a lot of their videos for.
Whoa. Can you hear that?
Yeah, that's a good opening. That's a good theme song. Just stop it before the lyrics come on and you'll be fine.
No, I want to see. That's right. We'll play it right now. That maybe if we get this shut down, then I'll know if we're going to get shut down or not.
Yeah. So I read about that, and I think that I have to, or my record label, which I don't have, they would actually have to hear it and flag it and report it to YouTube for it to get shut down. And so people who are like getting like huge bands like the Eagles and Creedence Clearwater Revival and stuff, their stuff gets taken down because they have people like constantly monitoring and combing YouTube to find their songs.
Gotcha.
And so, a band like us where like 5 people know we exist, it's not going to be a problem.
Well, I hear you, but I also feel like they get it so quick. I feel like whatever I think you said yours was said Bentley Records on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I feel like whoever I don't know how music works, but I feel like Bentley Records or whoever that company is, they tell YouTube if anything comes on of ours, immediately shut it down or something. Yeah. I don't know. So I don't
Bentley
know.
is super small, so I don't think you'd have to worry about it.
Well,
but there is a way for me to give you permission to use it. I just don't know how to do it.
Gotcha. Well, I don't care. I mean, I did it the first time and I got flagged and shut down. So we'll do it again.
Who did you play that you got shut down with?
Weezer and AC/DC.
Oh well, yeah, they're a little bit bigger than us.
A few people know about them. I don't know. But so what they did was the thing that I was not ticked about, but like about halfway through, I saw that people were watching, and then all of a sudden 0 people were watching. So I'm like, all right, well, obviously I'm super boring. So let me try to spice it up. But then I found out it wasn't that. It was that they like flagged it or whatever, because someone was like, hey, why did you turn it off? Or why can't I do comments? I'm like, I didn't turn off anything. So I start looking and like, yeah, your video is copyright infringement, whatever. So what I did was you can go on there and I just muted it. So now there's like 30 seconds of me, because if they mute the song when it's just a commercial break or whatever, I don't really care. But then if I'm talking over it like this, then it just looks like this. So I just had to mute. But we'll see. I don't think they'll get flagged, but that means Motel Pines might be getting a lot of playtime every week, Tuesday at 5. You guys seriously check out Motel Pines, because I just, if it has a good beat, it's like I'm good with it, and your music has a good beat. So I don't know what the lyrics say. I'm not going to stand behind that.
I was going to say, like, it actually would make kind of a cool, like the first like 15 seconds sound like they could be a cool intro to a show, and then as long as you just fade it out before the words start, that's all. Yeah, that's all that matters. That's
what I'm planning on doing. I'm actually going to play one full song, but before I get there, I'm going to do some like intros and outros, because it's good music, and then I'll do that as like I'm going to break or whatever, and then I'll promote you up. I'll be telling people to go to YouTube and check out the Motel Pines.
Yeah, man. I've got some other. I'll keep every time I record something new, I'll just send it to you so you can use it as your radio show music.
Okay, so there's a few people on. What questions you guys have for the Michael Carrasco? He's willing to take any question.
I divulge all.
Yeah, he'll do whatever. So what do you guys want to know about the Michael Carrasco?
Hey, so Taylor.
Oh, what did Taylor say?
I want to know about. He said, "Remember my daily and weekly planner like that?" And then LOL. What's the story behind that?
Oh, LOL. No, I can't. I seriously can't remember. I don't know. It might have been. That was a few minutes ago, so it was about something else that we were talking about. I don't know, Taylor. If you're still there, we need clarification.
I was just wondering if maybe Taylor is hyper organized.
Hey, we got a question from Lighting Geek, Tommy Heron.
Man,
what is it that got you into lighting?
Man, I accidentally got into lighting. Honestly, I didn't mean to. I started working in a lighting warehouse. That was the closest thing to my house when I needed a job when I had my second kid on the way, and so I started working in a lighting warehouse. And when you're in working in a warehouse, there's not a whole lot you have to do to make yourself stand out. And so I did a good job, and they recognized me, and they were like, "Hey, we want to manage this lighting store." And so I took over and I started managing the store. And then from there, I started learning landscape lighting because nobody else knew how to sell it. We had it, but nobody knew what to do with it or how to design it. It was just too hard for people to do. So I was like, well, all right, well, I'll learn how to do it. And so I learned how to do it. And then I became kind of the go-to person there when anybody had landscape lighting questions. And then people started asking me if I knew how to install it. And I was like, well, no, but I'll figure it out. And so I started installing it. And then it just kind of became a thing that I did. And I've talked to you about this a million times, but like I never actually dove full into like having a business. Honestly, just because I'm kind of a chicken shit. I don't know if I can say that on your show or not, but I don't have the I don't know. I don't guess I really I've never really wanted to own a business. It always like, I romanticize the idea. Like it always sounds really cool, but like when you really get down to it, like I'm just not, I don't really have that personality type where I would be, I don't think I'd be very successful at running a business. But I love design. I love the creative part of it. I love being able to do that kind of thing. I love working with homeowners and doing sales and, designing. And so I've kind of always done that. So I've always done the outdoor lighting guide as just kind of a side gig. And in the meantime, my day job is like lighting specifications for architecture and stuff. So I do a lot more interior lighting than I do exterior lighting, but still super passionate about it. I still love landscape lighting. It's my favorite thing about lighting. It's just, unfortunately, in the architectural world, it is like the very smallest part of a project. And so it doesn't really pay me to spend a lot of time on it in my day job. So I just kind of do it on weekends and stuff.
Yeah. We have talked about that in the past, how you're specifying all this lighting. And when you specify a lot into and how passionate you still are for lighting. And I think it's interesting because a lot of people, I mean, I don't know that everybody, but a lot of people always want to like start their own business, whatever. But I think you're pretty smart to actually think about it first. I, for one, didn't. I was like, oh, I'll just start my business. And then I did. And luckily for me, it worked out. But for a lot of people, it doesn't work out. And they kind of think, well, I'm a good technician, so obviously I'm going to be a good business owner. But they forget about hiring employees and marketing and sales and insurance and all these things that it's not easy to own a business and do it right, So sometimes it's better to do. That's why I kind of like what you're doing, because you kind of have that, you kind of scratch that itch. You have your own business, but you're not relying on it. So you get to go do it when you want to, not because you have to. And then you have your day job that helps pay the bills as well. So I think you're doing good.
And I can be super picky about my clients. I was actually just talking to your brother today about how like I so overqualify my clients. It's ridiculous. Like every time somebody calls me, I'm almost trying to talk them out of using me. And so it works out because like the clients I get are super awesome. Like they spend a lot of money and they're just great clients. And so I always try to weed them out as much as possible because I just don't have time to deal with the amount of, people who call me and like want me to do it. And so it's funny because I know a lot of like the questions in the landscape lighting group are, about like qualifying customers. And I'm always speaking from a very like kind of a privileged place. Like, yeah, I super qualify all my customers, but if I was doing this full time, like I probably would not qualify them the way that I qualify them now. Like I would go out and see every single person and like, I'd probably do like $500 jobs like all day long. But now it's like I have a very, very specific client that I look for. And so I'm thankful for that.
It's funny you say that because I've actually sensed that when you've had some of those comments or whatever, like, oh, this selfish prick or whatever. But I feel like you are coming from that place. But actually what's cool about that is that's exactly what they should be doing. It's solid advice because you can't be everything to everyone. So you kind of should have that attitude of like, no, I mean, if I'm going to come out there, this is who I work for. This is what I do, and find who your niche is. Now, like you said, if it was the thing you're doing full time, you might open that up a little bit, but I guarantee you wouldn't be doing those little jobs either because you'd have enough demand because you'd be marketing, you'd be doing more than you're doing now. Right now, you don't have to, so you're not doing it. But I think it's actually, it's good that you see that, and more people should adopt that. They should make it hard for clients to get a hold of them, and not in that regard, like never answer, but it should be like, man, it's if you want to meet with Michael, I mean, you better get on the list type thing,
Yeah, I've actually told people that too before. Like, hey, I only do my max is 2 projects a month. So, if we're gonna deal with each other, like I need to know that you're serious about this and that you have the money to spend and that you're ready to do something because it takes me. By the time I've come out and met you, like I've already decided I'm going to invest probably 4 to 5 hours in you. And so if I'm going to do that, like I need to know that you've got the money to spend and that you're willing to, because there's other people that I have that are calling me. Like I'm not relying on you to like do this job. I don't need you to do this job. And I think, I don't know, people tend to like it. People tend to appreciate that I'm kind of upfront about it. And I've never had anybody like, I lied. I have had people be like, I guess you don't want our business. And I'm like, well, no, I don't want your business. Like, I don't want to, I'm not going to work for $200.
Not
like
for 500. No, I don't.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So,
well, this happened to me yesterday. I was on Facebook, and this girl, we've been in multiple like marketing groups or whatever. I saw one of her ads, and she's selling a PR service. So she helps get you published in Forbes and all these, on the news and all these other places. And she's selling it as like, listen, you're telling people that you're like an authority, but then when they Google you and they don't see anything, then you're really not an authority type thing. So I thought, oh, this is cool. I'll watch her little video. And then what's cool is, and at the end of her video, she's like, schedule an appointment with me, but only schedule an appointment if this is the criteria, And she had a list of things. I'm like, yeah, I fit. And then she's like, and it also, my offer starts in the 5 figures, which I think 5 figures is like $10,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the lowest number. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to spend 10 grand right now on that. I might later on, but she just pre-qualifies them because she doesn't want to deal with people that want to spend $9,000, So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's awesome.
Well, and people have no idea. Like, people have no idea that I mean, again, there's lighting designers, I think, and then there's people that just kind of go and say, yeah, this is 10 lights. Like, but I'm very like, I'm pretty meticulous about the design, and like, it takes me a long time. If I'm going to design something, I'm going to go out and, take measurements, and like, like I do a lot to it. And so I don't think a lot of people realize that, like, if you're trying to do a good lighting design, it's going to take you a little bit of time. And I think when you explain that to them on the phone, like, hey, I'm going to invest probably 4 hours into putting this proposal together. And like, I need to know that I'm going to get paid at the end of the day. So I've actually taken now to like just looking at their houses on Google. They call me and I'll pull their address up and I'll kind of look at it and I'll say, yeah, this is probably about $10,000. And if they're like, I'm not ready to spend that much, then I'm just like, well, try. Call Majestic. Call Taylor. I have sent him some leads, quite a bit actually. Not bad ones. I send Majestic because there's also stuff that I can't do. Like, if I can't do it by myself, then then it's too big of a job for me. And if there's tools that I don't own that I can't do it, I always send them to y'all or to Majestic.
Y'all. So yeah, Taylor did clarify. He said, I do remember this. He said he rode around with me for a month in training, and I may have made fun of him. I tried to block out, but I don't know. Made fun of me writing down my to-do list. I wasn't used to being organized then, Taylor. So let's see. He also. Do you have a elevator pitch?
No, I don't. I think that I remember actually we went to the at the thing at Garden Line in Tampa. Remember? And they had us one, and I wrote it. I think I said something about like I design elite lighting systems. What did I don't know. It was something, but I've never said it a single time in my life.
We need to revisit that because that was actually, I thought, really helpful. That guy, his name was Topher Morrison.
Yeah.
He was running for the mayor or something of Tampa. I thought he was a cool guy. I thought it was helpful. No, he lost. So that's why I didn't implement
his elevator pitch didn't work.
Yeah. I'm like, this is bullcrap. I ain't doing this. So ever since then, I'm the same way. I haven't used it. But we should find out who is the mayor.
Yeah.
And be like, what's your pitch?
What's his elevator? Yeah. And so I don't know that I've ever been in a situation where I've had to like briefly sum up. Obviously anybody who calls me knows exactly what I do and exactly what they're calling me. So maybe if I was like having to find an investor or something, maybe I'd have to come up with an elevator pitch. But I mean, they're calling me. I'm not pitching anything to them. They're saying, hey, I need lighting. Can you help me?
Yeah, so, I think that was more designed for if you go to like a networking group or something like that, right? And it's like, hey, introduce yourself, and then you can say, yeah, I'm Michael, and I sell expensive landscape lights to people who have lots of money.
Yeah, people who drive Lamborghinis.
People that are in the Lambros.
Yeah, Lambros. Tommy asked when I knew I had the landscape lighting bug. And honestly, it's just the first time the first successful installation I had, and it was probably very, very bad, a very bad installation. But anytime the homeowner comes out and any light is better than no light, right? So like they come out and they're just, they love their house. Even if it was the worst design ever, they just love it because now all of a sudden they can see parts of their house at night. and that feeling and like being able to be like creative, because I'm a musician, like that's what I do, like that's what I love, that's my passion. And so that's the only thing outside of music that has ever given me that kind of like satisfaction, is like being able to like design something in the day, right? Like you're designing it like, I mean, you don't know. I guess, people who are doing night demos or whatever, they see it and they can design it around their night demo. But I wasn't doing that. It was pen and paper, and I was, beam angles and all that kind of stuff. And so you do it on paper, and then you go out the night that it's done, you turn it on, and you're like, holy crap, like that looks amazing. And it's a good feeling. Like you created something, like you did something really good and made somebody really happy. And it's the same kind of, like, it's the same way you feel when somebody, when you write a song and somebody really loves the song and it's good or whatever. Like that's the way that I feel when somebody likes my landscape lighting.
And you just said that so good. Oh man, I don't know if it's the music or just the way you said that, but I'm getting choked up. Am I recording this? I guess I am, because it's live. So I need to go back. I mean, that was like beautiful, Michael.
Yeah.
Just
you put that on landscape lighting secrets, and then in quotes, put that. Yeah. That can be your.
that was touching. What other questions you guys have for the Michael Carrasco? What's the name of your business? It's the Outdoor Lighting Guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Outdoor Lighting Guy. What's the website?
TheOutdoorLightingGuy.com.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought it might be like indoorlightingspecialist.com or something.
Actually, and I think I also own DFW Landscape Lighting. I own a couple of them, but they all just point to the Outdoor Lighting Guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you buy domains? I have a bunch of domains that I'll probably never use.
Not intentionally. No, I have. When I started the Outdoor Lighting Guy, actually, I couldn't decide what I wanted the name to be, right? And so I knew I wanted it to be something that was just very easy and that would be good for SEO. And so I bought a couple right at that time, and then I finally just decided the Outdoor Lighting Guys lended itself better, I thought, to marketing, because we could do like different, like we thought about actually doing a comic book. Like that was kind of one of our big ideas, is that instead of doing like a mailer, but our mailer was actually going to be a comic book, and the Outdoor Lighting Guy would have like these villains. What's that?
I thought I saw something that you did like that one time.
Well, so I did a book. It's a booklet just about landscape lighting, and it is very set up like a comic book. Was the intention for it to look like that? But we were actually going to do comics where like the Outdoor Lighting Guy was like a superhero, and he fought, the irrigator, which was like this alligator man, and he was the irrigation guy, and like who else? We had a bunch of like villains that he would fight, and they would be like bad lighting design and stuff. And there was awesome. The bad guy was called the Darkness, and he was like the main villain. And then there was all these other villains. And so like we would do like a mailer, like a quarterly mailer or whatever, but it would all be the comic book, and you could like follow the adventures of the Outdoor Lighting Guy. So I have all these ideas. I just don't have any money or time to like do any of them. So I don't. But it would have been cool.
Tommy's got some money. Tommy, will you send Carrasco like 50 G's so he can start this superhero thing? Because Tommy, he's a creative mind like that too. He does some off the wall crazy stuff that you don't think about. So
yeah, I would have loved to get gotten into marketing or something, but nah, never did.
I think it'd be cool. He's fighting, like you said, the irrigator and the landscaper and all the electrician, all these people that don't really know how to do landscape lighting. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Although there are irrigators who do a very good job. I just want to say that.
Not on this channel. If you're an irrigator, get off. No, I'm just kidding. Join my program.
I don't know what my most successful marketing strategy has been. Honestly, I've never had to market, to be honest. Like that's kind of one of the benefits of just having this on the side is like I don't market. It's just Google. I blog. I had a blog, and I think that might be kind of where some of my SEO comes from. But I don't do any marketing. It's all word of mouth. But that's good because, when somebody recommends me, they recommend me pretty highly. And so, if I've got a recommendation, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get that job. So yeah, I haven't really had to do any marketing. I wish I could tell you the most successful strategy. I'm terrible at that.
Hey, I like Taylor's suggestion here for the villain.
Volt Man. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Incandesto and Volt Man. Oh.
Yeah, we had one with one was ants. Like we had one that like controlled ants and like got ants into like to encourage you to have like a maintenance plan. We had all kinds, like we had all kinds of storylines. My wife's super creative, and so she was like, she drew up, you know, some of the characters, and like we were all sitting around. My kids had a lot of fun with it, like coming up with bad guys and like what their strategy would be. I can't remember all of them, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So we got a question from Richard. You see that?
Do you install RGB lights? What are some pros and cons? Thanks. So I've done a couple of RGB systems, and I don't do them very often. And partially it's because they're a pain. Just, I don't know, they're just a pain. But they also, like, some of the ones that I've done, or I guess one of the main ones that I've done, like the guy, you know, I set it all up, and like 6 months later went out to visit, and he was like, yeah, because a landscaper had cut a wire, so I had to go fix it. And while I was out there, he was like, yeah, I had this party and it was awesome, and I showed everybody and I changed all the lights and whatever, and he was like, and I haven't touched it since. And he just never did it. And so, like, it's always been, something I always tell people, like, hey, if you want to do that, then we have that ability. But I don't know. I think, I don't know that it's really worth the money for the homeowner at the end of the day. Like, I think that architecturally, I think lighting can look really nice when it does color changing, but landscape wise, like, I don't love it. Although California Outdoor Lighting just did this one that looked amazing. I can't remember the name of it. I think Anthony's in the group. So, yeah. That's the best RGB lighting I've ever seen in my life. Like, I've never liked it before. Like, I look at it and I'm like, that's kind of cheesy, and the plants look better if you just light them. But man, that was fantastic. Like, I thought that was like the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. So, if the yard, called for it, if it was tasteful, I think that it would be good. But yeah, I mean, it's just hard. Like, some of that stuff, I've never used like the Brilliance color changing fixtures, but I know there's some trouble like with Wi-Fi sometimes with them connecting, and you can have some kind of issues that way. All the color changing stuff that I do, though, is mostly commercial stuff. So I use a lot of color kinetics. I design a lot of color kinetic systems, but that's all architectural. That's all big,
They're huge fixtures and start at what? I mean, a color kinetics fixture starts at how much?
They're expensive. I mean, $1,000 for probably, the Color Blast. They're little, they're small fixture. They're expensive, and they're all DMX stuff. And like, I don't install any of that stuff. I design it, and but I don't do any of the installations on that stuff. So
yeah, I think RGB. I think it's super popular. I mean, people want that ability to have custom things, whether it's your car, your house, whatever. I think it's gonna be a thing. It's not gonna go away, even if we as lighting designers don't like it. It's gonna be there.
Yeah,
technology's getting better. I think it's not there yet per se, but I think the pro is you have flexibility. You can customize stuff, all that. The con is it's more technology. There's more to fail and more to manage. And you mentioned Wi-Fi. There's just a lot to overcome. So, I'm with you. A lot of people do the RGB, and then they're like, you go, like, every time you drive by, it's blue, like that tree or green or whatever it is. It's like, well, you could have just sold them a blue light too, and then always blue. So a lot of times, if you just talk that through with clients, they're like, yeah, that's true. The only color it's ever going to be is blue. All right, well, we'll just do blue on the palm tree and we're good.
Well, and there's some like more sophisticated systems that I think are kind of cool. Like SPGA's got that FlexLink system, and I mean, there are some systems that like you can actually, you can say like every St. Patrick's Day it's green, right, and every Valentine's Day it's going to be red or whatever. And
that's pre-programmed, right?
Yeah. But I just think that a lot of that stuff is just it's overly cumbersome, and probably just more difficult for a homeowner to really need. But if they have the money, like, I mean, like even if I don't like it, it's like it's their house. They're the ones that have to live there. So if they want purple trees there the whole year round, like, hey, I'm not gonna tell them no.
Yeah, you still got to be careful though, because even though it's their money, if you install it and you let them, like, let's say they want color changing, and you're like, okay, no problem, and like there's really not much education. You install it, and then they call you every week. The Wi-Fi's out. This is out. The lights be set back to normal. Listen, early on, I would just do like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, do whatever the customer said. And I learned that is not the way to do things, because it burned me. And they're like, well, had we known that this and this, there's no way we would have done this. We expected you to be the professional, all that stuff. So really, you do kind of have to lay down the law and tell people, like, if you don't want to do RGB, that's okay. And then even if you lose the job, it's like, listen, I'm here to tell you, you can find anyone to do it for you, but I'm not doing it, and here's why. And a lot of times that'll earn you the job, the respect, and be like, you know what, we appreciate you standing firm to that. And then they've known because they've been burned by something before, you know?
Yeah. And I honestly, like, even if you do tell them, because I stopped using specific products, for, a long time ago, but I would even tell homeowners, because I would have a VE version of what I would do, like, I don't know, 5 years ago. And, I would say, if you need to fit in this price budget, I can use this product and I can get you into that budget. And so you put it in, and you tell them, like, this is not going to last you 3 years, but there'll be maintenance costs and whatever. And you tell them, but they will never remember in 3 years that you told that to them. And now it's just, there's a problem with their landscape lighting system and it's your fault. And it's like, even if you did tell them, like, hey, at the very beginning, like, this is not going to last, they'll never remember. So I don't do it. Like, I won't even use any of that kind of product. I'm just like, that's not a job for me. So kind of same thing with the RGB. Like, even if you did tell them every possible thing that go wrong, I don't think they would ever remember that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, and Taylor, don't get mad at me, because I'm telling one of my secrets right now, is when we sell our lighting systems, we give them 3 different options, and the top one is actually RGB. Well, the only reason that's there is just so that we can have a higher price point. Like, we're not really trying to get them to buy that. It's just so that they can have a higher price point, so that the one that we're really trying to sell looks inexpensive compared to what it could be, right? And what's funny is sometimes they'll be like really excited and they'll choose the RGB. I'm like, whoa, hold on. That's not really what I wanted you to do here. Did you see the warranty's not that good? And I'll like, listen, I really want you to make sure you know what you're getting here. I didn't expect you to choose that. And then I'll try to outsell them from it into the one that I want them to buy. So that's interesting.
Yeah. I just offer, like, I ask them if that's something they're interested in when I first meet with them. Like, like, I'll tell them what kind of options there are for landscape lighting, and I'll mention RGB, and I just tell them, I've done a couple of systems. They're expensive, and nobody tends to use them as much as they think they are. But that's the same thing. Like, people always ask me, like, about zoning and dimming and all that kind of stuff. And most of the time it's like, for the properties I can do by myself. Like, again, if it's a huge property, I'm sending them to Taylor. But if it's a job I can do by myself, I'm like, there's no way you need zoning. There's no way you need dimming. Like, there's no, like, I don't do projects that big. So I tend to tell people, like, you're never going to use it. And so I kind of get that out of the way at the very beginning.
Hey, just want to remind everyone who's listening, we got the Motel Pines and in the background. So if you like the music, go to YouTube, the Motel Pines. I think they got like how many subscribers you guys up to?
Probably like a whopping 28.
There's 3. So let's try to get that up to like 4, maybe 4.
4 would be good.
Or 34. Like, let's go and subscribe. Are you guys going to be coming out with any new music?
No, man. I don't know if we're even, like, I think we're
not even a band.
What's that?
No, we're not even a band. I'm not even sure what happened.
No, we're doing kind of a new project right now. It's actually going to be a little bit more, you've probably seen my, like, flamenco videos. I got real into flamenco during the COVID, and that's all I've been playing for the last year. And so I taught our piano player. I taught him some, like, rumba stuff, some rumba patterns, and I think we're going to start doing some like nuevo flamenco kind of rumba stuff.
Nice.
Because it's fun to play, but it's also, you can get a lot more money. Like, rock bands don't get paid anything. Like, it's terrible. A lot of times you pay to
right.
for the privilege of playing somewhere.
Yeah.
So there's really not a whole lot of, like, money involved. And dude, I'm 41. I want to start making some money with music. So we decided that, like, maybe this rumba thing would do. And then, like, on the side, we might do like a roots rock, like Tom Petty kind of band, just because it's fun and easy.
Hey, don't subscribe to the Motel Pines on YouTube, guys. We're trying to keep it at 3. So if you subscribe, go back and unsubscribe. We don't want them seeing traction because it will distract them.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. There was one other question. I had it up there. What are most guys charging for core drilling? I have a customer's house. We'll cry it. We'll rent a drill, so that will obviously be passed on to the customer. I have not done any yet and really look forward to it. Before you answer that, I would say make sure you practice on your own house or like Walmart parking lot or something, because you might jack up the customer's driveway.
Yeah, I don't know what most guys are charging. What I do when somebody asks for core drilling is I say, hey, there's this company down the road called Majestic Lighting.
Yeah,
call,
exactly.
call Taylor Flynn. He'll do that for you.
So the thing is, I mean, it's hard to say what you should charge because, you know, you're renting the drill. So you got to charge for that, of course, but it's going to take you longer the first time. Does that mean that the customer has to pay more because it's your first time? No, you might want to give them a deal because you're practicing too. You know what I mean? So, but typically you're going to want to charge like an extra $150 or so per light to do the core drill is what we charge. Well, dude, I don't know if anyone else has any other questions, but I've kept you on way too long. I was just planning on doing a little test and hangout sesh, whatever. But if you got to get going, that's totally cool too. But
hey, man, I got to answer questions for Tommy the Lighting Geek, man. That's that's exciting stuff.
Yeah. No, but it's cool. I'm glad you could jump on here, and it's actually pretty good. We've got several people on asking questions and stuff like that. So thanks for being willing. And
yeah, man, sounds like the software works.
Yeah, it's working right now, right? Oh, you sent me a private. Oh, hello, private chat.
Yeah, well, that's because that's the only thing I can chat in. I can't chat in the comment section.
Okay.
But I wonder if I could. If I came to Facebook, I bet I could. Although I don't know where to find this in Facebook. I'd have to go to your live channel, but I bet that's where I could chat with the chatters.
Yeah, I'll bet you could. I can chat, but I don't know. I can't respond to somebody's comment. I'm noticing. I can just say something. So this is basically the software I'm using. So I don't know if Woody's still on, but Woody Kerwin, he's a guy in my program. He's actually going to be my guest next Tuesday. So tomorrow I've got Ryan Jaso on, and he's going to try to offend some people. So that'll be pretty fun.
Yeah.
But what's cool about this is it allows me to share. So I think I don't know. I think I can have, it said I can have up to 10 people. So one of these nights we'll have to get a bunch of us on and see if we can really get 10 and what it looks like.
Let's have a landscape lighting round table.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'd be cool. But this is what I'm using for my show. So I started that radio show, and I'm going live to YouTube, to Ryan Lee Coaching, which is basically like my business/fan page. It allows you to have more friends or whatever. And I don't have to accept the friend request. They can just follow me. Then, of course, my personal page. So it allows me to go to live on multiple destinations, plus get to interact. So I don't have to just stare at my computer. I can actually see who I'm talking to and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'll have to get me a outdoor lighting guy, a little backdrop like you've got there.
Yeah. So this wasn't even intentional, but now everyone's like, wow, it looks so official. So I'm calling it the Landscape Lighting Secret Studios.
Nice.
Isn't that nice? But really what I was planning on setting up a booth at AOLP this year. And, and I was like, COVID was it's still kind of coming to an end, or I don't know what it's doing, but I was like, oh, they hadn't canceled it. So I was like, I'll buy the backdrop. And then actually the day that it arrived was the day I got the email from AOLP that said it was canceled. The in-person one was canceled. So I was like, you know what? I'm setting it up in my office, and now it's Landscape Lighting Secret Studio. So yeah,
I mean, it looks good. I mean, it looks like it looks like you're a real businessman.
I look like a real person that's actually
know something about landscape lighting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. You got to fake it till you make it, man.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Joe? Good to see you, man. Well, I guess good to see you on here. I don't see you. I wonder if there's the ability to just get someone on. It would be cool to click on their profile and then they get to join live or something.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I haven't figured that one out yet. Well, we've reached the end of the playlist, so that's pretty cool. We actually got to play. Oh no, we didn't reach the end of the playlist. There's still one more song. I think this one is going to make an appearance tomorrow. Do you care what song I play? Because I'm gonna do some intro stuff like this, but I've got one song. I can't remember which one it was, but I'm like, this is a good song. I'm gonna play the whole thing, and then people get to know the Motel Pines.
Nice. Yeah. No, whatever you want to play.
But now I found out you don't want people to know about the Motel Vines.
Well, we still do. I mean, that stuff's there forever. So, I mean, if we all of a sudden, people knew who we were and started downloading our stuff, we might get, a cent per 1,000 streams, I think is what YouTube pays.
Oh, well, I just unpromoted you. I promoted you, then I unpromoted you. So, all right, guys, go to YouTube, put in Motel Pines. You'll see them. They're like the third one down or first or whatever, and subscribe. They've got 3 subscribers. Our goal is to get to 10 tonight.
Let's make it happen.
Within 24 hours, if we don't get to 10, something bad is going to happen. I'm going to rage. It's going to get crazy. Yeah, Tommy said you need your own intro. So here's the thing, guys. I was going to wait to tell everyone tomorrow, but well, I'm going to tell everyone tomorrow this too, but I have to change the name of my radio/YouTube/Facebook/ podcast show because someone else already has a podcast named Light It Up. So tomorrow's gonna be my last show called Light It Up, and then I'm changing it to Lighting for Profits. So it's gonna change. I know I'm gonna lose a lot of followers because people were already following Light It Up, but it's gonna happen. So sorry about that.
And I think the Light It Up podcast is this even still going?
Well, so there's 4 Light It Up podcasts. One of them is the Milwaukee Bucks basketball team, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Milwaukee Bucks, Light It Up. And then there was a couple others that I wasn't sure. But then there's actually talked to the guy today. He's a super nice guy. I called and confessed my sins to him and told him that I copied his name. But I wasn't even copying his name. It's Tom Garber. He's the CEO and like a really brilliant engineer for Emery Allen, a light bulb manufacturer.
Yeah, super smart guy.
Yeah, he's a smart guy, cool guy. And I was like, hey, we haven't met, but I just started a radio and podcast show, and I called it Light It Up. That was my introduction. And I'm like, sorry, not sorry. Sorry that you came out with yours first. No, but I was like, yeah, I had no idea because I wasn't even planning on doing a podcast. It was just supposed to be the radio show, and I didn't go look to see if that podcast was available because I didn't care. And then I go to search for my podcast when it came out last week. And I was like, looking for it. I'm like, what the heck? There's already like 4 podcasts, including the Milwaukee Bucks Light It Up podcast, Yeah. And I'm like, Tom Garber, I don't know who that is, whatever. And then I'm like, wait, what is this? And then I look, I'm like, oh crap. He's kind of doing, it's not the same thing because he's talking about a lot of different topics that aren't business related and stuff like that. But it just doesn't make sense to have it the same name. So I was like, you know what? I gotta switch. So I just called him today and said, hey, just want to make sure, are you planning on going forward? Because they hadn't done one since June of last year. And he's like, no, we definitely are. Just COVID and stuff came up and whatnot. So he's planning on doing it. In fact, he just had an interview with a couple guys. One of them was Andy Thomas. He's the new president of the AOLP. So I think that one's coming out, I don't know, sometime in the next few weeks.
Me and Brandon Kuehler from Light It Right in Houston and Mark Carlson, I don't know if you know, from Avalon in California. We actually were talking a while about doing a podcast like a couple years ago, maybe not a couple years ago, it was before COVID. And we had a pretty cool name, and I can't remember what it is. But you already set on your new name, right?
No, I haven't finalized it. Why'd you come up with a name?
Yeah, we had a cool name, and I'll have to go through my email and see if we ever emailed it back and forth, but I can't remember what it was.
Well, I don't want to steal it. I mean,
I'm never going to do a podcast.
Somebody's going to he's going to be on my podcast or my show here. I don't know, in the next month or so.
Yeah. Ask him if he remembers what the name was.
Like, what was that name? Oh, okay. Yeah. I just registered it.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, it'll be cool to have a landscape lighting specific podcast. There's a lot of like lawn care, and I know there's always like a lighting, 1 or 2 episodes or whatever. But yeah, it'll be cool to just be able to talk landscape lighting.
Yeah, the reason I think I like lighting, I don't love Light It Up's a really cool name. I'm jealous that he's got it. But Lighting for Profits is because it's all about lighting, and I'm big on profits. And it's not like I'm a bloodthirsty animal for money or anything like that, but I found that the more that I priced it right, the more I could provide better value. Like if you can make profits and make a ton of money, you can afford to bend over backward for your clients. You can afford to buy them better product. You can afford to spend more time with them. Like you really can be and you can grow your business. You can hire people, you can afford marketing, it's all those things. So that's why I'm such a, I don't know, I'm always talking profits. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just call it lighting for profits.
Yeah.
Even on like the radio and podcast show, I'm going to have, you get someone like Mark who's big on like design. He's not going to be talking about profits, but again, a good design is going to help you be more profitable because you can use that as one of your competitive advantages. So it all ties back to business for me, but I'm going to have really good people on there about design and installation techniques and all sorts. I mean, different manufacturers, distributors, everything.
Yeah. That would be cool, man. That was kind of we were thinking like, interviewing, different engineers, different manufacturers, just like talking about like, I don't know if you know this, but like I'm on the IES. I'm one of the authors of the new RP for landscape lighting that should be coming out. Hopefully this year. I think it's an RP. It's a recommended practice, but the IES, the Illuminating Engineers Society, it's a I mean, they set the standards for lighting. So we're writing a new RP for landscape lighting. And so, I mean, I don't remember why I started talking about this, but
because you can.
Because I can, yeah. No, we wanted to like talk to like engineer. Oh, because I was saying like it'd be cool to have talk to people from the IES, that are very 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 well versed in lighting, because I know a lot of people who do landscape lighting. They don't come from a lighting background. They are a lot of times it's irrigation people. A lot of times it's lawn care people, and they're into lighting because it's part of the outside experience and whatever. And I think that like being able to have some sort of education that's not like manufacturer driven. I think like most of the education that I find out there is all like, coming from any number of manufacturers that do lighting training. And really the purpose of that, the intent behind that is like, let me teach you how to sell our fixtures. It's not necessarily the most like, unbiased education you can get. So like having people from the IES, they're just going to talk about lighting, where it's like they're not necessarily married to a manufacturer or a certain method, but they can just talk about the actual whys and hows of lighting. I think that would be a good resource for you to like have on your show.
Yeah, no, and if you have any contacts or any recommendations, and not just you, but anyone listening or watching or whatever you're doing, hook me up. Tag them, introduce me, because I know a decent number of people, but I definitely don't know everybody. And that's what I want. Like, because even within my program, I've got some ideas that I think would be helpful for the lighting community. And then some people are like, yeah, but the manufacturers already do that. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but like, it's different when it's like, if I say, hey, Michael, I'm really good at coaching landscape lighting. I mean, okay. But if you tell someone that I'm really good, it's that much more impactful, right? So I feel like that's the same way. Like I can teach someone in a different way than a manufacturer can teach them.
Yeah.
Because I've actually owned my own business. Like I've actually done these things. Well, I actually told someone how to do these things, but I have that experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and a manufacturer is never going to tell you the bad parts of their manufacturing process or like what's potentially going to go wrong. They're just going to tell you all the pros. And a lot of people kind of get married to a specific manufacturer because like, hey, that's what's at my local, irrigation shop. And that's what they like. I've gone in to, I don't want to get too into like bashing anything, but like I had always kind of had this.
Come on.
I had always kind of had this in principle, not wanting to buy product from an irrigation place, because to me, it's like, I want to buy lighting from a lighting place. I want lighting specialists. I want lighting people there. And I want to support that industry. I don't want to support, another industry, but like I've gone into a certain distributor here that is an irrigator, the irrigation distribution house, to try to get a good, what I feel is a good product. And I've gone in there and tried to buy the good product, and they've tried to talk me out of the good product to like have me buy the very, very cheap stuff, like the worst stuff. And it's like, not knowing
they're helping you by you because they think you want to save money or something, right?
Well, that, or they just, maybe they have spiffs on this other product. Maybe they just have more inventory on it. Maybe they don't want to go through the trouble of buying a special order, the stuff that I want, because I'm pretty meticulous about like what I'm ordering for what job. And so like, there's, it's more of a pain to deal with me as a customer than there would be for somebody who's just coming in and saying like, hey, give me, 40 uplights with a 4-watt, 40-degree lamp. And, that's like easy. And so, they would try to like talk me out of buying what I wanted to buy and just try to sell me, on their cheap product they had there in stock. And, because they're not really lighting people. They're selling a product, and there is one lighting person for the whole like Metroplex, and that person isn't at that store all the time, right? They're just always gone. So it's just a bunch of, irrigation guys trying to sell lighting equipment.
That's that's the main reason I don't order the special at any restaurant. I feel like they're just trying to get rid of that meat or something, like everyone buy it. It's on special. It's like, it's probably like 30 days old or something.
It's like all the bottom of the like the pan, they're just like scraping it off and like calling it something.
Yeah, like why else would they do the special? Like,
yeah,
that. So, I hear you. I'm with you 100%. But you're right. Like I bought a lot, not a lot, but certain times of our business we bought a lot from Ewing, and we went through like, I'm just throwing names out there right now. I don't care who I throw under the bus, but we were buying like from Horizon, and there was like shitty service. Like we couldn't even get a hold of someone or whatever. And then when you did, like you said, they didn't know the answer. But it was actually just a specific Ewing branch, because I've heard other people share horror stories about Ewing in other branches or states or whatever, right? But they happen to have a lighting specific guy, and we happen to get that special attention. So in my experience at that branch, at that location, it was fine because they were willing to do research and find stuff and bend over backwards and do all that. And they treated it as a customer service business where, like you said, the majority of them, there might be one guy, but if you don't happen to frequent that branch, then you're kind of SOL.
Yeah. Well, and then I didn't actually ever make my point. So like the training that's coming from the manufacturers, that's, they're going to the irrigation house and they're training all the guys and they're buying hot dogs and whatever. And they're training them, if the economy line is there more often giving them training, and the good line is never there training them, like they're never going to learn how to sell the good line. And so they're just going to try to sell you the thing that they know the best, right? And so the cheap line is going there telling them all the information of how to like sell their value product, and they never learn about the good product, and so they don't know how to like, they have no idea, so the only thing they're presenting to you is like the worst stuff because that's what they got trained on. So that's what I have against like learning your lighting from a manufacturer. It's like you're not really learning anything, I mean, other than what they want to tell you. So yeah, you just have to be careful about it. I mean, I guess there's probably some irrigation distributors that do better trainings and get more attention, but these specific ones in my area don't seem to be getting very much attention.
You're gonna, if you have time, tomorrow at 5 Eastern, so that's 4 Texas time, Ryan Jaso, the lighting boss, he's gonna be talking about some of this stuff. I think it might get a little heated. So
yeah,
I got to figure out where my sensor button is for him, but yeah, he's gonna be on tomorrow. We're gonna talk about some of this stuff, so it'll be good.
Yeah. There's a couple of good online people.
Yeah, man. I seriously, this has been fun. This makes me want to do this again. So we'll have to do it more often. And it's supposed to just be a test, but we just talked for almost an hour. So
yeah, that's good content, baby.
It is good. I love it.
Content is king.
We got more engaged. If I go live, like sometimes I'll do a live video and I'm like, dude, whoever's listening right now, this will change their life. And then I realize that no one's listening. There's like no one watching, or there'll be like 2 people on there, like my mom and wife or something. And so there's not much engagement, but this has been good. We got people asking questions, and we got people making fun of us and stuff like that. Well, I don't think they were. Tommy, were you making fun of us? I don't think so.
Well, hey, you got my music quote, and that's the gem you needed. So
yeah, man. Well, and thanks for the background music. I like it. It was good.
Absolutely.
So guys, remember, go on YouTube, and I should plug my own stuff too every once in a while. Motel Pines, we're trying to get them from 3 to 10 subscribers within 24 hours. Tell your friends and your friends' friends. And while you're at it, go to Landscape Lighting Secrets, because I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. I'm up to like 70 or something. So that's good. That was better than 2. I had 2 a while ago. So I'm getting close. So go help us out, guys. And then we'll do this again. But thanks, Michael. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. No problem. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Everyone have a good night. We'll see you.